So I'd like to introduce Mackenzie Hollander, who is a rising star, and she got this year's Ecos Environmentalist of the Year award as Rising Star Award for her work making and posting videos of the South Natomas Wildlife Habitat area. And that's really important in supporting the anti-sprawl projects that we're involved in, including the Coyote Creek. I don't know if you work directly on Coyote Creek, Mackenzie, but we're trying to protect valuable farmland and conservation lands. Mackenzie, if you want to introduce other aspects of who you are, please do so.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Hollander. I'm a junior in high school, um, and I've also lived in Natomas for 13 years, so essentially the majority of my life. I'm also an avid birder, um, and I came to the climate activism force through my love of wildlife. That was the original thing that got me um, inspired to do environmentalism because the same problems that we face as a human society, the same existential threats. Like I saw a statistic the other day that like the average person is going to become 40% more poor due to climate change. Um, the same existential threats that we face, we share with the wildlife in our company. Um, so, um, what got me started, um, or let me start with this. Why the Natomas open space is important to me is because it is where I was able to cultivate a sense of connection to Mother Earth. It is where I was able to grow this deep appreciation for nature, which has given me so much. It has given me a purpose in life. It has given me mental health benefits. Um, and it has just allowed me some place to escape and find the little joys in the world. And being surrounded by open space is such a beautiful thing, and is something that everyone deserves to grow up around. Um, and another reason why the Natomas open space is important to me is because of I see through the perspective of the local avifauna in our area, so the local species of birds. The Natomas open space is crucial to so many groups of birds. There are two main examples I can think of for why the Natomas open space is such critical habitat for the greater Sacramento region's birds. And the first reason is that there are large intact grasslands in the open space of Natomas, which is really critical for grassland birds. Grassland birds have faced long-term steep population declines, and they, in the 2025 State of the Birds report, which is a report that is compiled by the North American Breeding Birds Committee, um, states that grassland birds are the most imperiled group of birds because they're facing the steepest population declines because of um, habitat loss, significant habitat loss throughout the centuries of colonialization in America. Um, and so these pockets of suitable habitat that are left in Natomas should be preserved for these imperiled birds. The species of grassland birds in Natomas aren't endangered yet. None of them are endangered. Um, but I don't believe that we should wait for things to be endangered to preserve and protect them, which is why we need to act now. Um, but there are at least two species that are found in the Natomas Basin grasslands that are state listed threatened: the Swainson's hawk and the tricolored blackbird, um, and particularly um, in the Natomas habitat that is threatened for development. Edith and I have gone birding And we have found Swainson's hawk nests, and we have found up to 13 Swainson's hawks hunting in the areas that could be developed. Um, so it's really crucial. The habitat in Natomas is really crucial for grassland birds that are very imperiled. Some other species that are found there that have faced population declines but have not declined enough to get them designated the status of endangered or threatened yet include the savanna sparrow, the western meadowlark, the white-tailed kite, and other wintering sparrows like the Lincoln sparrow. Um, so for the grassland birds, it's important that we protect Natomas open space. And the second reason, coming from the perspective of the birds, is because of the Pacific Flyway. The Central Valley used to be like almost exclusively wetlands. And 90% of those wetlands have been drained and developed over the past centuries, um, meaning that there's only about like 5 to 10% of the natural wetlands remaining in the Central Valley. But the wetlands in the Central Valley are critical because they are one of the main stopover sites for migrating waterfowl and migrating shorebirds that use the Pacific Flyway to migrate from their breeding grounds and wintering grounds and back again. Hundreds of thousands, some say even millions of birds stop over in the wetlands along the Pacific Flyway. And because of how not much of those natural wetlands are left, it's crucial that we protect those that do remain. But another thing is agricultural fields, when flooded at the right depths and the right time of year, can be suitable habitat for the migrating waterfowl and shorebirds that use the Pacific Flyway. And a lot of these temporary wetlands that are shared with humans as agricultural fields are along the places in Natomas that are threatened for development, like the Grand Park Complex. I personally live in the neighborhood directly below where Grand Park is planned, and I'll show a map actually of that in just a second. I live in the neighborhood directly south of where Grand Park is planned, and I walk out to those right now they are rice fields, and in the wintertime they get flooded with rainwater, and I've seen up to 60 species of birds there in one morning, and I've seen up to like 20 species of waterfowl and nearly 10 species of shorebirds in one morning. A lot of birds use the area. It is a wintering ground for birds that use the Pacific Flyway as well as a migration ground. So coming from the birds' perspective, that is why the Natomas open space is so crucial. From the human perspective, 8,000 acres is a lot, and there is a statistic that I'm not entirely nailed on that would state that if these housing developments were built, and not all of them are housing developments, some of them are like industrial warehouse developments. But if these housing developments do get approved, it would, I think, don't quote me on this, but it would double the population of Natomas, and that would double the traffic and less open wild space. When it rains means there's less ways for the water to sink into the ground, and there's more runoff, which increases the flood risk. And also there's already flood risk because of how we live in a floodplain in Natomas, and developing on a floodplain isn't the smartest development that you can do. It would also increase noise pollution, and it would increase air pollution. So our air quality would go down more. And one of the developments, Airport South Industrial, is right by an elementary school, which I wouldn't believe is the most safe development to do. And I can think of, from my perspective, Elkhorn Boulevard, which separates the neighborhood from these rice fields, is already an unsafe road. People speed on that road, and with double the amount of traffic, it would not be getting any safer. So that's from the human perspective, and it would also increase sprawl and increase carbon emissions from the Natomas area. Um, and so I'm going to share my screen on a document that has a map. Um, whoops. Okay. All right. Okay. Um, all right. Can you see this map here? Okay. So,
Not yet, not yet.
not yet. Hold on. Uh,
Are, you should be able to share.
I clicked the button, but I think
We still see her video.
We still see you,
okay.
but we're not seeing your computer. And from what I can tell, I do have the correct things that allow you to, you should be able to share.
Okay, let me try again. Okay. 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 I think it's
Woo!
all right. All right then. So, can we all see this now? Okay.
Yes.
So this is a map of the development. Um, this is Grand Park. This one is Airport South Industrial, and then this is Upper West Side right here. Um, it has it labeled. Um, on when I heard about these developments, it was through my internship program with 350 Sacramento. I heard about it at a general meeting for 350 Sacramento, and as an intern, we were working with some members from ECOS, which included Edith Thatcher, to think of ways we can promote this issue on social media. And immediately, I thought of my birding skills, my skills in finding and videoing birds. And I suggested that I could create a video where I would go out on the land and take videos of birds and then string them into a short video about why, from a wildlife standpoint, this Natomas open space is crucial, and why, from a human standpoint, should we not develop on it. And I have since made 3 videos. 2 of them feature birds, and one of them features opinions from students at my school. And I can see if I can share one, but I will have to find it in my camera roll. um, so maybe I'll show that in a little bit. But in addition to making those videos, I have attended the public hearing that was on August 11th, I think it was, or was it the and I gave a public testimony in support of the city council's decision to pass a resolution that said, "Hey, county, we should not develop the Upper West Side project." And I've also I co-authored an article in the N magazine, the Natomas magazine, with another intern from 350 Sacramento. And I wrote about the significance of Natomas, the Natomas baseline for grassland birds and for the birds along the Pacific Flyway. Basically, the information that I gave you guys. And I've I have started with, in partnership with Edith Thatcher from Ecos, I have started leading community bird walks that actually take you to the land threatened for development. And then I lead a bird walk where I show people birds and I talk about the importance of the open space. But the most significant thing people get out of those bird walks doesn't come from my words. It just comes from being on the land, taking it in, taking in the beauty. And really, I don't believe people, I believe you gain a whole new perspective when you stand on the lands that you can, that you have a decision to either watch go away silently or speak up and try to save. Um, it puts a whole new perspective standing on the ground of those lands. And so the next one that Edith and I are doing is going to be on November 29th. It's going to start at 8:30, and you can see, you can sign up for the walk. I'll put a link in the chat, but if you go to the ECOS website, you should be able to find November 29th bird walk on the, hold on one second. I need to go on mute for a second. I'm on a meeting. um, sorry about that. Oh, um, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can see that.
Okay.
It's very seen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. Right.
Okay, sorry about that. Where was I? If you visit the ECOS website, you should see the information for the November 29th bird walk. It's going to be on Airport South Industrial on this one. But later into the winter season, I'm going to start leading walks on Grand Park, which is where we can see the flooded rice fields and just see hundreds of thousands of waterfowl and shorebirds all out in one view. And it's, yeah, they're going to be pretty good. But the other action item about the Natomas development is there is a meeting on the 18th, the same day as the Coyote Creek meeting at 5 p.m. And I forget the location. I'll send the location in the chat, but it's going to be at 5 p.m. and it's going to be an informational session with the city council, and we can give public testimony over if we can give public testimony of opposition for the Upper West Side, or is it Airport South? One of the developments. So that's essentially all that I have to present about the Natomas development. So I guess let's open it up to questions. Oh wait, the video. Actually, while I find the video, I can answer questions while I find the video, and then I can share the video. Does
Can
that
you
work?
put it back the way it was?
I'm sorry, Linda, what are you saying?
There.
Linda, what are you asking for?
There. I just wanted to go back to the way it was so we could see each other.
Oh,
And-
certainly. We
And
can do that.
I have a question for Mackenzie. I'm wondering, what are the other wildlife besides birds that are in that area?
That is a really good question. So besides birds, Edith and I, when we've gone walking, we have seen coyotes, we have seen black-tailed jackrabbits. I imagine there's a plethora of native rodents, but a significant animal that has been found in the Natomas Basin, but I'm not sure if it is present on any of the sites threatened for development. But a significant animal is the California garter snake, which is also state listed threatened. So it is crucial that we protect all of their habitat as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about the trees and the bushes and things?
So I don't know my plants as well as I know my animals, but I do know that there are a plethora of native plants, especially native trees, present on the Natomas open space places. I I know I've seen valley oak, which is the endemic species of oak tree that California has. I've seen willow and Fremont cottonwood, and I've seen tule, which is a plant that is very important to the ecosystem. It holds water, and it also has significance to native or indigenous peoples. Um, yeah.
Thank you.
Catherine?
Hi. Yeah, first of all, Mackenzie, I just want to say thank you. You're so impressive. I can't believe that you're a junior in high school. Keep it up. We all support you. It's wonderful. You're wonderful, I should say. I was going on the Ecos website and I don't know, it looks like a national site. I couldn't quite figure out how to go to find your walk. I have an event happening on the 28th. So, the day right before your 29th event. So I'd really want to publicize this to people that will be attending.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Actually, I can send the form in the chat. So I'm going to go find the form really quick and then.
Okay. Great. Perfect. Thank you.
But I can take questions while I do that. Okay.
I want to just say that you really hit all the important points. And as Catherine said, it is so impressive and so important for you to be speaking out. I think you are making an impression in a way that we can't. And this is your future that we're trying to protect. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Yeah.
And how can we get hold of those videos? Are you
So
going to have time to show us some? I know you need to leave soon.
yeah, I think I will have time to show. So while we take questions, I'm going to find it in my camera roll. But I also sent a link in the chat to a Google form that it has all the information for the bird walk and also has the sign up on it. So
Great. And Avis, I think you have a question.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Thank you so much. I apologize for my lighting. I live in Sutter County and I am a retired real estate broker that focused on agriculture. And I would attend different meetings and I'd always be the one saying, that we can't reduce our agriculture land. And there was one meeting where the growth of Yuba City was pushing up against where you're talking about. And it's fascinating because the economics of the fire departments and the money that needs to be, I'm sure all you know all about this. And it was new to me that, supporting these services means building more houses, which is so sad. But what made me think maybe it's tricky when the land that's being developed has such a economic upside for those farmers. So they're not going to be standing up for you to probably protect the birds, but there might be some farming type organizations that maybe can speak to the reduction of farmland to kind of help your movement. But I'll show up for the walk and
awesome.
anything farming related or real estate or whatever, however I could help. But I loved your presentation. I'm so impressed and it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I do have the video up, so I can share my screen. There was a question in the chat. What time does the walk start? It starts at 8:30 a.m. on November 29th. Good question. Okay.
And I'll put it in our newsletter as well.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again and show you the most recent video that I made during my summer break. All of the videos were taken on the parcel of land that the developers want to call Airport South Industrial. And the video focuses on Swainson's hawk, so you'll be able to see what a Swainson's hawk looks like, and you'll be able to see a short clip of the nestling that Edith and I found in a nest. Okay. All right. Can we see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. All right. A high schooler at Natomas Charter School. I have lived in Natomas for 13 years. Just south of the international airport is a sprawling array of grasslands, agricultural fields, and stands of willows and oaks, one of the most beautiful wild areas in Natomas. Raptors such as the threatened Swainson's hawk and the red-tailed hawk soar over the vast fields in search of prey and nest in the trees. Many grassland birds, a group of birds that have experienced the steepest decline out of all bird groups, use this remaining pocket of open grassland to find food, shelter, and to raise young. It is crucial that we protect this land for these birds that have lost the majority of their habitat throughout the century. These lands that are so valuable to our wildlife in Natomas are at risk of being developed under the new project, Airport South Industrial. In fact, 8,000 acres of open space in Natomas are at risk of being developed under 3 separate projects. As well as diminishing our wildlife and open space, these new developments also threaten to bring more traffic, noise and air pollution, and flood risk into our communities. But these projects can be stopped, and we need your help to stop them. Visit the Environmental Council of Sacramento website, www.ecosacramento.net, for more information and to learn what you can do to help us stop these developments. We must protect our open space. Okay. All right, that was the most recent video.
Very good.
Thank you, Mackenzie. That is amazing. Really good. Are there any other questions?
Someone asked if I could share my contact information, and I'm typing my email in the chat.
Wonderful. And wonderful. And Mackenzie, where do we where can we see your videos?
So that's a good question. If you visit the Ecos Instagram page, you should be able to see it. And if you visit the Environmental Council of Sacramento, I can see if I can find the videos on the website. I'm not sure where they're located on the website, but if I'm planning to make a whole other series of videos on the land of the birds and wildlife and reasons for opposing the development, and I've started a new Instagram account. So if you go into Instagram and you type in the search bar birding on threatened land, I'm going to type it in the chat too. It's new. I haven't posted a video on that account yet, but I'm going to start posting more videos more regularly. And let's see. I'm searching the Ecos website. I'll have to find it a little bit later, but I'll find the link on the Ecos website and then I can email it to you. And then you can send it out.
Okay, that would be great. And for anybody who is interested, it's Eco Sacramento without 2 S's .net. That's why it's sometimes hard to find because it's a .net.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I if there are like any last questions, I'd be happy to answer any last questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, actually, could you go back and tell us exactly what it was you did to win this award? What was your project?
So my project was the videos that I made and also leading the bird walks. I've led two so far. One took place on October 15th and the other was on September 14th. And giving public testimony at the hearings and also writing the article in the N magazine, which I'm also working on a second one.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping
Do you have, oh, go ahead, Catherine.
Mackenzie, I'm just hoping you'll keep in touch with Lori on dates, and because we could post those in our newsletter, and I think that would be a really positive thing for our members to do.
Okay.
And me, I want to do it.
Okay, I'll keep in touch then. Thank you.
That would be wonderful. And thank you for all you're doing. You're
Yes.
amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. And Mackenzie, you can stay as long as you want, but I know you have a meeting coming up. So thank you again.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Bye. Thank you so much.
And so our segue is perfect because we're going to talk about open space, and Barbara and Tim will report on the Coyote Creek project action that's happening tomorrow. Barbara?
Yeah. Okay. I just was checking that my audio was turned on. Tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m., the Board of Supervisors will be hearing the Coyote hearing the Coyote Creek project. Specifically, what that means is adopting the final EIR and giving authorization for the project to move forward. There has been a massive effort on the part of multiple organizations to oppose this. ECOS has led up the biggest effort, I guess. That's why I was late. I was at an ECOS meeting about the board meeting tomorrow afternoon, and they have pulled together such a diverse array of organizations, including the California Wheelmen, who are the off-road vehicle folks, Native Plant Society, Sierra Club, Defenders of Wildlife, and I'm not even coming close to telling you the diverse group of people that are involved in this, but I'm very impressed with what they have done. They've written a 35-page letter commenting on all the shortcomings of the EIR. We signed on to that letter, and that is being sent this evening to the Board of Supervisors. Tomorrow, Third Act has organized a team of people to speak at the meeting. That will involve one person speaking about the financials and why the ranching family there are alternatives that would provide the ranching family with the income they say they need. That will be Steve Schweikert, who some of you might know works for the Sac Valley Conservancy, but he is not speaking for them. He's speaking as an individual. He has a whole lot of experience with acquiring land. Pat will be speaking about the energy part of it and how Third Act is a big energy proponent, clean energy proponent, but this is the wrong project, and how we can still meet SMUD's 20 2030 energy goals for clean energy without the project as designed. Sally will be talking. She'll be wrapping up and trying to drive home the key points. Ray Trethaway from the Tree Foundation will be talking about the conflict of interest the Tree Foundation has in this. They are consultants to the project proponents, while at the same time representing themselves as environmentalists to the county and whomever, the county planners, and tomorrow the supervisors. So he will address that and why that is a contradiction, but that they have since backed away from. And I guess that's about it. We have a handout we're going to pass out. I can put it up on the, I'll put it in the chat. How about that? People can pick it up there if they want. That addresses some of the specifics about covering everything I just mentioned. We're looking to find 2 people or 3 people or 4 at the most who could help pass this handout. Let me turn off my background. Oops. Okay. Oh, gosh. Here we go. I think you can see it now pretty clearly. This is the handout that we have put together. This is the part on the the financials for the ranching family. Don't need this project to meet them. We have another section on the energy situation that Pat will discuss and the contradictions of SMUD. We need somebody we can't pass this out inside the supervisor's chambers or even outside the supervisor's chambers. Has to be outside the building altogether. So we're wondering if anybody might be willing to come a little bit early to the meeting to pass this out. We're going to print up maybe 100, 150 copies to have at the meeting. So if anybody would be willing to only take a half an hour is all you'd have to spend at the most passing these out.
This is Carla. I'm new to this group. Can you send me I'm walking, so I can't. Can you send me the info of what you need tomorrow?
Sure.
Passing out? That'd be great.
Well, Carla, can I get your contact info? How will I get that?
I think you have it, but let me give it to you again. It's Rev Carla Dietz at Gmail.
And K, is that Carla with the C or a K?
C. And you can see my name up there with my.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Great.
Okay. So it's REV, that name, at Gmail. And if you email me what you need, let me see if I can do that for you.
Great. Thank you so much. That'd be
You're
great.
welcome.
So anyways, the bottom line is our team the people I just mentioned, we've met with a couple of the supervisors. To be honest, it doesn't look super optimistic. Maybe we can get a split vote. Cerna's out of town, so he will not be at the meeting. So we might be able to get Desmond and Kennedy voting against, and then Hume and Rodriguez will likely vote for. I don't know what happens in that situation, frankly, but the one other important point I should say is that it is a suit. Everything is being lined up for a lawsuit. And I learned today at the meeting I was just at prior to this that all the deadlines have expired for the deliverables under the contract SMUD has with D.E. Shaw, who is a solar company that will do the project. All the deadlines have expired by years, not just by a week or a month. So technically, SMUD could say the contract is null and void. You have not met your deliverables. We're out of here. They don't want to do that. I think they're looking back to, it's not my opinion, it's the opinion of others who know more about this than me. Look, they're looking to the supervisors to actually do the dirty work, so to speak. But there is, you know, it is likely that this will end up with a lawsuit. So something to think about down the road is if there is a way that we can support them in this lawsuit to stop this project. By delaying this project through a lawsuit, you know, over a clear 35-page delineation of multiple ways that the EIR is inadequate, that might make the deliverables so delayed and the project will become more and more expensive that it just might not pencil out anymore. That's perhaps one of the better outcomes of all of this. I know I just jumped into the middle of this, and I don't know you, Carla, maybe Avis, or there's others on the call who at the meeting tonight who aren't familiar with the details of the project. And I'm sorry that I skipped over the basic background information, but for fear of talking too long, it's covered at the beginning section of this handout, which I'll put in the chat when I finish. I guess I really don't have much more to say. Just that I hope whoever of you can attend, it would be great to have you. The meeting will probably run from 2 to 6. So if you can't make it at 2 o'clock, come at 3 or 4. You know, having a lot of people there will really be important to show that the community is opposed to this project. Any thoughts or suggestions or questions about any of the things I said?
I just have a quick question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I should have
Who is
raised my
that
hand.
that's saying that?
Oh, it's Avis. I'm sorry.
Avis, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just was wondering, in the person that you mentioned is going to speak to why this is the wrong project you know, a right project in the wrong place. Do they have alternative locations?
Yes.
In that, yeah.
The
Because
alternative.
when I first heard about the opposition, and I haven't been to meetings recently, there is some. I mean, we've been fighting for solar so much in all of the activities, so it feels like, oh, and here's some, you know, it's too bad they can't design it. The trees aren't in groves; they can't design around the trees. But I don't know enough. I don't want to bog us down because I can research, you know. But thank you for all your work on it. And thank you so much.
I will just say real quick, Avis, without getting into the weeds, that one alternative would be to scale back the project out of the area where the trees are, which is the majority of the project site that has been designated as a resource conservation area in the county general plan. And it would be to scale it back to a couple hundred acres to the west that would be out of the tree, you know, the oak savanna that is there. And that would generate, I don't know, maybe 100 megawatts, which if on top of all of other SMUD's projects, that would allow them to reach their goal of 3,400 megawatts by 2030.
Yeah. I just wanted to say my background's in biology, and seeing this project, the more that I see it, the more appalling it gets. Um, oaks are threatened by climate change, and some of these oaks are 200 to 400 years old. And so planting little saplings and saying that's mitigation is not acceptable. Think about 400-year-old trees, and this is a whole ecosystem. So it's not just the trees, it's all the life there is adapted to interact with one another. And so if you take out the trees, you're destroying that whole area. And they're not just talking about taking out the trees, they're also talking about leveling the ground so that there's going to be soil impacts, water impacts. I mean, this is a huge, huge I think of it as a failure of stewardship and a blow to future generations because you think of how many generations it will take for trees like that to come back, but they're not going to be coming back because like blue oaks aren't reproducing well because of climate change. So this is just we need to change the thinking that uh, business and money is more important than the environment. And I just the more I learn about this project, the more appalled I am that this is going forward. So that's my soapbox.
Thank you.
Barbara, you're muted.
There is one tree there that they estimate is 800 years old. The environmental consultants that did the tree survey, that was their estimate. So, plus many other what they call champion trees that are huge. So,
And
yep.
it just the arrogance of us being able to get rid of these for something that's so petty. Linda, go ahead.
Well, did you all get Catherine's communication about the bee article?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hopeful, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a very good article in the Bee today. Catherine?
Yeah, I just want to know, Barbara, there's a chance I could come over 4:35-ish, but is there somebody I can get in touch with to find out if you guys are still there?
Text me
Okay, can you give me the number you'd want me to?
to do that too. Yeah. Text me and let me know if, when it works for you, and I'll let you know if it's worth coming over if things are winding down.
Okay, what's your number?
916-316-7982.
Okay, if I can, I will do that. Thank you.
Ruth, did you want to say something? Can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, you're
There
muted,
you go.
Ruth.
So I was just able to change an appointment. So I can hand out flyers
Oh,
tomorrow.
fantastic. So
who do I get the flyers from?
I've got them, and let's meet at 1:30. Those long steps going up to the Board of Supervisors? The ones that are at an angle?
I think so. I'll get there and find them.
High Street between 7th and 8th Street.
Okay.
They sort of go like this, and then when you go in the door, you're in right near the chambers.
Okay.
Let's meet at the bottom of those steps.
All right, between 7th and 8th.
Yeah, on I Street, on the north side of the street. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, and I have a teeny video that Defenders of Wildlife put together that shows the site. If people want me to show it, I have it teed up.
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up then. I guess.
You should have access.
Yeah, I guess did you give me access?
You have access.
Okay, great. So, okay, hold on a second. Let me get the right one. I shouldn't have talked. Here it is right here. Here we go. Okay. So I'll share my screen. There. And go to this. And let me make it bigger. Oh. Here it is right here. Here we go. Okay.
This landscape along Coyote Creek in the Sierra Nevada foothills could be lost forever unless local leaders change course in how we meet our clean energy goals. The climate crisis demands that we transition to 100% zero carbon clean energy by 2030. It also demands that we do so without destroying lands and ecosystems essential for climate resilience while respecting cultural resources. Unfortunately, SMUD has entered into an energy contract with the Coyote Creek Solar Project that will destroy thousands of acres of land that hold deep cultural importance for our region's tribal communities and contain some of the last best habitat for our dwindling biodiversity. This massive earthworks project will require the use of 8 tons of explosives per day for over a month, plus 1.4 million cubic yards of excavation and nearly as much fill, resulting in the destruction of rare oak woodlands, including more than 4,500 blue oak trees, plus vernal pools, wetlands, and riparian areas, to build a massive industrial energy complex, forever changing the rural character of this scenic corridor. Sacramento County and SMUD can do better. Urge them to reject the Coyote Creek project and place all future clean energy projects in a way that protects our natural resources and respects our tribal communities.
Okay, that's it.
Very nice. Very nice. And that video is in the newsletter that went out yesterday, if anybody wants to find it. Thank you, Barbara, for all the work that you've been doing. And the next thing I want to do is invite everybody to our next, instead of a general meeting next time, we're going to have a holiday potluck at Linda's house. Linda, so save December 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. Linda, did you want to say anything about that?
Not really. I'm just providing the venue and the supplies. So I'm looking forward to having you. We did it last year and it worked out. I'm glad to have you coming. And
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your house.
I'm kind of turning into I don't know what kind of venue, but I have I have the lighting director for the opera coming up out in the cottage for this whole week. So a woman came from Atlanta to work on the opera next Saturday. So it's fun. I just love people coming to my house. So look forward to it.
The date again?
It's December 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. And Linda, is it okay if we put your address in the newsletter, or is there a different way that you want to handle that?
I think last year, maybe you put my phone number, but no, it seems better for you to just go ahead and put the address.
Okay,
Don't you?
thank you.
What do you think? What could go wrong?
And that's a Thursday. Just want to confirm it's a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, there ought to be an RSVP way though, so we know how many, so maybe,
Okay. We'll put something together. We'll figure that out.
yeah, maybe put my phone number as a way to get an RSVP, and then I'll tell them. But you could put maybe that it's in the land park area so people know whether they want to travel that far or not.
Yeah. Okay, we'll figure that out, and I'll let Goalie figure that out. So let's do the team reports now. There's so much happening right now. Ruth, would you like to talk about legislation and MPP?
Sure, because there's very little happening. Oakland passed a resolution, so now we really need Sacramento as the top 6 cities. And so I sent that information, and I'm going to follow up this week and actually just call the staff person I've been working with and say, okay, what's the holdup? Because they said they're going to be talking about it, but that was a week and a half ago, and I haven't heard a thing. So I'm worried that the oil and gas folks or the lobbyists for the trades have gotten to some of the city council members.
Do we have a champion on the city council?
Well, Lisa Kaplan was super excited about it. Dickinson, I mean, they were all very supportive. Mai Vang was super supportive. When we met with them, it was Gara's office and Kaplan's office was there. The mayor's office was going to come. They couldn't make it. And so I'm just curious that, like, okay, why haven't we heard? So.
Keep us posted. So if you want people to start advocating, let me know what we need to do.
I'm going to trigger that as soon as I mean, if it's just like really sorry, we've just been really backed up. We're working on these other things, then fine. But I have said several times we need it, we need it before January. So.
Well, thank you, Ruth. Are there any questions for Ruth? Okay. I don't think Mary Ann's here. Oh, I know she's not here. She's in Venice, I think. No, she's in Ireland. Never mind. Anyway, we should all be in Ireland. Mary, the senior to senior is done for the year, and they did a great job. Can anybody report back on the CalPERS meeting this morning? Well, what I heard is that it was very impressive. There were at least 30 people from the Bay Area and here, and there were a dozen lamenters, and I have some good photos, so you'll see those in the next newsletter. And I believe that CalPERS people don't respond when people give the presentation. But there were so many people, wasn't that true? So many people, they limited it to a minute each. Linda, do you have some postcard news?
No, I don't. Activate America hasn't come up with anything yet. There's highly important mayor race in Tennessee that I got notice from Tony the Democrat. That's a different postcard organizer. I'm pondering whether maybe some of my high achiever writers would like to take some and do them at home, but I don't have a time when I can do it in November. So I'm thinking of it. There are other postcard entities, but it's easiest to work with Activate America for me. So we'll see. So nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And anyway, you probably have to rest your hand for a while. Catherine, would you like to tell us about the new monthly coffee?
Yeah, just fourth Monday of every month between now and through June, I'm going to do a monthly coffee at the co-op at from 2 to 3:30 p.m. I'm hoping that, it's going to be informal. I don't want to have a big meeting agenda. It's really partly to give people a social connection with other like-minded people and to try to bring in new faces who maybe haven't been that active and then get them out to whatever it is their passion is, and build some in-person relationships. So all of you are certainly invited anytime, and we'll see. I don't know how it's going to go, but in June we'll reassess.
I love the idea that there will be a some sort of events for new people. And I think our old members, the ones that are not as involved, doing person to person could make a big difference.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to make a
Um,
point of recruiting new people, but we've got, I don't know, 700 plus people on our email list, and how many people are working day to day with us? We need to create relationships, and I think that's how we pull people in. So that's my goal.
Thank you for doing that. Another thing that we're talking about doing in January is having a strategy session because we're working with lots of groups, we're working on a lot of issues, and how do we become most effective? What are the gaps in the community for action? What do we want to focus on? I think we're doing an amazing job. But starting out with the strategy session will be a good way to start the year, I think. Um, and Catherine, you want to talk about street theater?
Well, we have a fledgling street theater group started. I've been out of town some, and nothing's really happening right now, and I guess I'm struggling with how it's all going to come together. But we have people that are interested, and I'm working on a couple things that would be good. And I don't want to just stick to doing it at a protest. I want to just say, here's an important issue. How can we go off and do it just at a shopping center or at the Capitol on a day when there's a bunch of people there for some reason, or any place, and just be spontaneous and do it.
What fun.
It is fun.
So, one other thing that Barbara and I have been talking about is starting to have a discussion group or study group, something like that, once a month, where we pick a few, two or three articles and talk about them. Because I am a broken record about the fact that not only do we need Democrats, but we need good Democrats, not ones that fold and cave and uh, maintain the status quo. But there are lots of different ideas and a lot of different approaches. So that's something that um, we're going to start up in the beginning of the year and see whether people are interested in how that goes. The other two things on the agenda are writers. That's Faith, and she's not here. I think she fell off because of her poor connection. And Luke talking about volunteers. I know he always needs phone callers. Um, but that's about the end. Do we want to continue discussing things as a group, or do we want to go to dinner? Everybody's muted but me, so
I have to
and
cook
Dan.
dinner. I'm good with dinner.
It's chilly
Okay.
out, and having something warm sounds really good.
I have soup as well. That reminds me of something my grandmother said. So you have one more minute to hear me talk. She always said the poor person is happy when they lose something and find it again. She said it in Russian and in Yiddish, but I always think of this extra time. We had this time until 6, and now we get some of it back. So we found it again. Anyway, it
Thank
makes me
you.
happy. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, and we will see you maybe tomorrow, maybe the next action. There's lots going on. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Good luck, Barbara.